Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is the Sunday gardening question and answer video that I have been doing for a while now. You can ask questions down below this video, and I pick questions each Sunday that I think will help the group the most. On the first Sunday of every month, I do a video that is the Subscriber Sunday video where subscribers send in photos. I think there's one more question and answer video in September, and then the first Sunday in October will be the Subscriber Sunday video. If you want to send in photos for that, the email address is right here. I put up a video yesterday with a big plant unboxing from plantsbymail.com. I'm going to be giving those plants away on the road for some events I have this coming weekend and the following weekend. Those events are listed, link down below. There's also a chance for anybody that's not coming to the events to also win some gift cards. That's described in the video from yesterday, so make sure you go back and watch that. I think it's called Big Plant Unboxing and Giveaway or something like that. So let's get to some questions from last week. I got really good questions, so let's get right to those. Somebody asked me my opinion on raised beds, I guess meaning building boxes or using some sort of metal or whatever material to build raised beds. I used kind of a raised bed technique for my vegetable garden over here. If you've watched any of those videos, I actually put compost on top of my existing soil and I plant my vegetables directly into that. So it's kind of a modified raised bed, but I don't build any kind of frame or anything like that. The only reason I would build, a couple reasons I could think of that I would build raised framed beds. Number one is if I had if I was older and didn't want to bend over as much or had some kind of disability or something like that, then I would definitely consider it. Or your soil requires it. Maybe your soil is extremely rocky, or maybe it's sloped or something like that. If my soil was just going to be too hard to improve over time, that would be the only reason I would build some sort of structure like that. Otherwise, I think putting compost directly on the ground and planting into that, because that compost will also improve the soil down below it, and you'll require less and less inputs over time. But that's just my technique. It's kind of a raised bed, but it's just a modified raised bed where I'm not going to use any lumber, or spend any money that way. If you're waiting to build raised beds in order to do vegetable gardening, go buy 2 bags of compost and some lettuce plants today, and plant them right on top of your existing soil. You'll get something out of them. Just protect them from the rabbits. So there's my raised bed answer. Somebody asked me about maintaining their leyland cypress, what height they could keep them, by hedging them. They planted them 8 feet apart, and so that's great because most people plant them like 4 feet apart. That's way too close. So 8 feet was the appropriate spacing. But in terms of how tall you could hedge them at, I guess you could probably keep them 10 feet tall for a very long time. Eventually they're going to look weird though, because the trunk, I'm looking at some over here behind the camera now that are 30 feet tall, but the trunks are this big. And so eventually if you kept shearing the top, that trunk's still going to get big. They're going to look weird over time, but it may be somebody else's problem. It may be something you could maintain for 20 years and and then have it be somebody else's problem, honestly. So sometimes I think about it that way. Somebody asks me, well, how big does this tree get? And I say 100 feet tall. And they're like, oh, that's too big. Well, you're not going to see it. None of us are going to plant a tree that's going to get 100 feet tall in our lifetime. So probably some tree out there that can. But you know what I mean. For those of you who didn't plant your leyland cypress or something, if you want to maintain a screening plant at a certain height, try to buy a plant, that only gets to 10 or 12 feet tall, or is it maintainable at 10 or 12 feet tall permanently. Somebody asked me my moving date from this property. I've actually already moved. I moved over a week ago. I'm still shooting some videos here. I have a lot to clean up. I'm cutting my square footage more than in half, and so I've had to make a lot of tough decisions on what to keep or what to sell and those kinds of things. And so I'm still here cleaning up and doing some small repairs and that kind of thing, but I actually have already physically moved. It'll be mid to late October though before you guys start seeing videos, because I'm going to be out of town for part of it, and I'm moving into a 1948 house, and the bathroom's been remodeled, and I am doing some painting and some other things just to try to do the interior first, and then I've actually got some exterior work I want to do on the actual house itself too. But you'll see when we get to that point those things. Somebody asked me about sunshine ligustrum and creating a hedge with them on their foundation. which you can definitely do, and how far apart you'd plant them. I think the plants would be happy 3 feet apart, but you could put them as close as 2 feet apart. Those ligustrum are really super, super tough plants. They wouldn't have any problem at all surviving for who knows how long, at only 2 feet apart. But I'd probably put them 3 feet apart, and it might take an extra season for them to fill in and look hedge-like. Somebody asked me about how to trust the size on the tags on the plants, how big plants get. And the answer to that is the tags should say, you know, when a tag says 3 to 4 feet for the height, it really should say maintainable at 3 to 4 feet. That's something I'd really like to see changed across this entire industry, is that we just say maintainable at, rather than, plants don't stop growing. I mean, I've seen Carissa hollies that are supposed to only get 2 or 3 feet tall. I've seen them 5 and 6 feet tall. I've seen dwarf yopon hollies 6 feet tall. You know, they don't stop growing. And so if you never prune them and you never maintain them, you know, you could probably add 50% to any tag you ever seen in terms of how big the plant will actually get. But the truth is, on labels, they really mean maintainable at, because plants don't have like some sort of, you know, system where they go, oh, reach 3 feet, that's good for me. They're always going to be trying to get to the sunlight and making sure they're staying ahead of other plants, working on getting to the sunlight. The only plants that kind of have a fixed height are ones that go dormant in the winter and come back every spring or summer because they die down to the ground. But shrubs and trees, they're going to continue to get bigger until they meet some sort of resistance, or they meet their lifespan. But I would say that the tag means maintainable at. Someone asked if I use starter fertilizers in the fall, something like biotone, something that doesn't have a lot of nitrogen to make the plant grow, but just maybe for some root development. And I really don't. I plug plants in the fall and leave them through the winter, and then I fertilize them in February or March with some sort of slow release fertilizer that usually has some sort of mycorrhizal fungi component to it at that time. But you can if you want to. If you want to use biotone or some other organic starter fertilizer, you're welcome to. My soil's been improved enough over time that I wouldn't worry about it too much. Maybe if I was in a new house, new construction, where they had pushed soil all over the place, probably anything you do is probably going to be beneficial in that case. So the last question this week, somebody asked me about what tall juniper I would recommend as a screening plant. I'm glad you're picking junipers. Junipers tend to be tougher plants than some of the eastern arborvitae like emerald. If I had space, I would use Hollywood juniper. Hollywood doesn't have that perfect pyramidal shape, though. It kind of grows kind of wild, but it's a beautiful plant and it's interesting. It's not like lining up a little soldier on your property line. So if I had a super small or a narrow lot, like the one I'm actually moving to, I would probably use Blue Point juniper. Blue Point has that more formal looking Christmas tree look. If I had a larger lot and I could let something go a little bit and I wanted something more interesting, I would use Hollywood juniper. Those would be the two. Hetzai is another upright, narrow one that you could use as well as Blue Point if you can't find Blue Point. But Blue Point has a really nice blue hue to it, especially in the wintertime. So great questions, guys. Thank you very much for participating in this. And like I say, ask questions at the bottom of this one and next Sunday. I will get to those. Thanks for watching.